The inspiration for this series is really my wife. She's inspired me to many things. She came home from teaching church school one day and said, I asked the kids what they wanted to pray for. And one of the kids wanted to pray for their dog. Another one wanted to pray for their spelling test that they pass it and do well. And another one that their parents get along. And she said, I realized that I pray very much the same way. I pray for what I'm anxious about or what I'm resentful about, and I don't have the power to change it. So I hope that somehow praying to God will change what I can't. Interestingly enough, though, the most pervasive thing that is wrong in how we think about our life is not our weakness, but it's the fact that our brain registers negative experience more often and more strongly than positive experience. So at the end of the day, we're more likely to know what we haven't completed because that disturbs us, about who irritated us, and about what we haven't gotten right, and about criticism. That's really most people's everyday conversation. And it is soul killing. It makes us gun shy about other people. It makes us dislike ourselves. And if God ever comes into that picture, and usually we're not aware of God, we're not necessarily all that excited about this gift called life. The most pervasive problem with how our brain processes life is what neuroscientists sometimes call negative bias. And if we don't learn to do otherwise, we bring that negative bias into our prayer life and we think about what we're too weak to do anything about. And then we get disappointed when God basically says, no, actually, Jamie, that's something you can address yourself. So why don't you get up off your hindquarters and go out and use what I've endowed you with and be wise enough to ask for a little guidance from me first before you go out and solve what you're not going to solve on your own. Why don't you start with me? When we start with God, the place to start is with being aware of God's love, how we've experienced it ourselves, how we've experienced it in relationship with other people, and how we could experience sharing God's love with others if we only stop to think about the people in our lives and what they need and ask God, Lord, who do you want me to love today? So that's what this meditation that I'm going to share with you is about. It helps you to integrate attentive intelligence with God's instructions about how to pray. And I don't care what your belief about God is or isn't, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, or whether you're Jewish, or whether you don't have a name for what you are, it doesn't make any difference. I invite you to experiment with this simple pattern of prayer. And this is the first of 6 patterns of prayer, which can serve as a foundation, a solid foundation for your life, bringing to you far greater joy than you have if all you do is think of God as someone to fix stuff that you can't. And it brings you deeper into human relationships in a way which is a blessing to others and just rich and wonderful. So thank you for coming this far. God bless you. And now let's begin.